LT from Year Light 2021. Welcome back to Build Theory. I'm Aurian Archive, and I'm looking again at that dark stone brute. And I'm starting with a backport of a backport from a backport. Yeah, say that 5 times quickly. What's on the screen right now is the last build that I was working on for the Darkstone Brute. I called it DDR5 maybe. Not the build she's actually using. And it was kind of a build predicated on some other changes being made in the game. Well, in between the last time that I actually looked at and played my Darkstone Brute, I was working on a Stone Scrapper. Well, the Stone Scrapper build actually is turning out really good. I'm really happy with how it's working. And okay, since I'm really happy with it, why don't I look and see if I can take the Scrapper build and backport it into the Brute build. Now, I do know that there are some things I don't have to account for when going back to the Brute. I don't have to account for, say, the knockback proc, so I don't have to worry about an overwhelming force. I don't have to worry about a sudden acceleration. I can pick up 2 slots right there. Uh, and that I know right up front that allow me to get some slots going into geode or a granite on a brute armor. So my brute armor should still be quite sturdy. I may be able to, using the scrapper build, pick up the outside of granite armor soft cap to energy negative defense, which would make the brute significantly more compelling across a wider range of content. So I kind of got the brute build up in the background so that I can do a comparison later. But I probably, instead of looking at the last build that I worked on, should bring up the build that's on right now, which is DR4 Fix. And we'll load that up. And then we'll look at our scrapper build and bring our scrapper build over to a new brute build. And let's get our brute build up here. And I already know from the previous brute build that I'm skipping Shadow Punch and Touch of Fear, so I can probably just safely scamper right by them and not even worry so much. So let's get up our Stone Armor and Dark Melee. And so we're skipping Shadow Punch. We may come back and take Shadow Punch. So we're taking Smite, we're taking Shadow Maul, and we're skipping Touch of Fear. We're taking Siphon Life. We're probably going to be taking Taunt very late in the build. So we'll go ahead and put Taunt all the way down there. We want Dark Consumption for our Endurance as soon as we can get it. We want basically every attack as soon as we can get it. We kind of already know that our Soul Drain will be getting our bestest. Uh, wow. We'll already be getting the best PBAOE set we can apply, which in this case will be Armageddon. So we can go ahead and slot that in before we do anything else. We're going to, at this point, not worry about slotting in the build up. I have an idea on how we're going to fit that in there, and probably going to be looking at combat teleport. Uh, we'll go ahead and see if there's any other sets we can go ahead and fill in. Midnight Grasp, we'll go ahead and give our Blistering Cold. All right, and we already know that in our first 2 powers, Smite and Shadow Maul, we will likely be doing our ATOs, but we'll have a second look at them. And we also got Siphon Life, which may be getting an ATO. So we'll go ahead and tap in Shadow Maul and Smite each with 5 and Siphon Life with 4, and then check our ATOs. Our ATOs on the Brute, we have a 5% Smashing Lethal, which aligns with our Scrapper, 5% Smashing Lethal, so we'll go ahead and slot this in. We did 2, 3 quad, and we did 1, 3, final. So Shadow Mall, we'll do 1, 3. Was that 3 or 4? No, that was 4. 1, 4 final. 1, 4 final. 1 for final. And Smite, we will do. Okay. Smite, we will do 2, 3, quad. All right, Siphon Life, we're probably looking at an ATR. Other ATO gives us a 5% melee if we go deep and some resistance. So we'll kind of keep an eye on, we may need that extra defense, but for right now, we're not going to go that deep on it. Actually, hang on, where's Mud Pots? Uh, we haven't slotted mud pots yet, but we are going to keep an eye on our recharge time, regeneration, endurance, because we really want to put that on mud pots if we can. So we're going to go with 4 slots on Siphon Life right now, and that leaves us Dark Consumption. We're going to go ahead and take it out to 6 slots just for now, but we'll probably be coming back to it and thinking of something else. Rock Armor, we had 5 slots on. We did Luck of the Gambler. And we doing Defense Endurance Recharge. And we have a Kismet proc. Alright, after Rock Armor, we probably want to take, well, we can afford to take Stone Skin a little later, so we'll go with Earth's Embrace. And we had that out to 5. And we were doing Panacea. And we're skipping the proc on Panacea because we're going to go put some slots on Rooted. Alright. Alright, next up, after we had Mud Pots, which earliest it can be taken is 10. So let's look over here on our slotting. We had 1 on health, 1 on stamina. We had a Numi proc, and then a Numi heal. And then on stamina, we had a regeneration. Oops. We want the proc, and then we're going in mod all the way. And we'll go ahead and fill in Swift while we're down here. And we'll also fill in Hurdle. Okay, going back up, Mud Pots. We know right now we're probably putting the ATO regen endurance on Mud Pots. We'll go ahead and give Mud Pots 2 more clicks right now. We took Speed of Sound. Not too sure if we're going to be sticking with Speed of Sound for the Brute. Right now we're going to potentially tap in Teleportation and Combat Teleport. We'll take Combat Teleport out to 6 just to see what we've got to work with later on. Now we'll run into Stone Skin. And we'll run Stone Skin out to 6. And we're giving it the Impervious Skin proc. We're giving it the Gladiator's Armor proc. We're giving it Gladiator's Armor plus Resist. We're giving it Steadfast Protection, Resist Defense. And we're giving it Reactive Defenses Defense. Wait, not updated on here. But that's what we will be doing is Reactive Defenses. And the Reactive Defenses Scaling proc. So we'll know we'll get those later. Next up, we'll be putting in Rooted, which we're giving 5 slots to. And Rooted is getting the proc. And this time we will be probably skipping Endurance Recharge to maximize our heal. Or we could just skip the pure heal, and we'll roll with this. What's that look like if we just skip to pure heal? No, skip to heal recharge and do endurance recharge. Heal recharge, endurance recharge. Let's lock this off and look at it. Regen was 196.9. Changing this back to heal recharge pushes us up to 201. What's this actually get us? 12.1, 12.61 HP per second versus 12.3. Okay, for now we'll kind of leave that, and that's a change I think I'll make about making to the scrapper is to get some more of that endurance under control. Is doing endurance recharge instead of healing recharge. Alright, dark consumption we're still kind of taking a pass on, so we'll jump to brimstone. On the armor on the scrapper came very late, but we'll go ahead and jump to brimstone armor, which is getting 3 Aegis resist. No, what are we doing here? Yeah. Aegis resistance endurance, and Aegis resistance endurance recharge. Alright, after brimstone, we're taking crystal armor. And crystal armor, where did crystal armor go? It's all the way down to 28. We know it's getting 5 slots. Hasn't had the endurance modification listed. So we'll go ahead and kind of leave that off, but we're doing defense endurance recharge. Since neither the power transfer or what was the other one that we had done? Stone scan. They won't give us direct numbers, but we can go ahead and kind of plan on seeing what they look like. All right, so we'll skip those two, but we got 2 slots there. Next up is minerals. And where'd minerals go? Minerals in at 35. All right, minerals had 4 slots, and we were doing well, right now we're just going to do 3 slots, because we'll go straight to the shield wall, and we'll do defense endurance, because we took combat jumping over here, and this is where I'm not sure I'm going to do speed of sound, because you kind of need combat jumping with speed of sound, but we'll be able to pick up granite on the brute, and with granite we'll take a luck of the gambler, so we can kind of count on luck of the gambler and granite. So shield wall, defense endurance recharge, it gives us 3 there, and then we're down to granite armor, which will go ahead and tentatively put in a defense increased armor. We'll give it 2 slots. All right, and then we'll mosey on down. We had tough and weave. Let's see if we can fit those in. We'll do 14 at fighting. We'll do kick, tough, and weave. All right, so kick is just getting the recharge. Tough is getting 3 slots, and this is where we're putting the Aegis proc and an Aegis resist endurance, and then Aegis resist endurance recharge. Weave is getting 3 slots with Luck of the Gambler, and Luck of the Gambler defense endurance, and then Luck of the Gambler defense endurance recharge. And now we're down to our final 3, which would have I use Zap, Ball Lightning, and Electric Shackles. We're probably thinking about doing Soul Mastery for Gloom, Dark Obliteration, and Darkest Night, but we'll see how this works out. Gloom, Dark Obliteration, Darkest Night. How many slots do I have to work with? I have 7 slots to go. So if I fill Gloom out all the way, I have 2 slots. I can only get 3 slots into Dark Obliteration. I need 3 slots, which right now will take them from Dark Consumption. So we'll do slots, enhancement slots, auto-arrange all slots, and this gives me my 3 slots for our attacks. Now I did Winter's Bite and the single target attack. Now, for the most part right now, Aside from brimstone armor, all of my resists are bound up in IOs. Dark Obliteration, we had Frozen Blast being used. I need to get that quad, which is, yep, there's the quad. Alright, and now we will tentatively see. Tom, we'll go ahead and fill in with that. What are combat teleport, potentially maybe using Gaussian synchronized fire control. And we still have a slot left here at 30, where we'll probably put another travel power. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards Force of Will with Mighty Leap. But could go Super Jump. What did I use? I didn't use any on her right now, so I'm leaning towards Super Jump or Mighty Leap. So we'll go ahead and kind of stick in Mighty Leap. We'll move Weave down. We'll move Tough down. And we'll move Kick down. This gives us Mighty Leap as a travel power very early on, an actual travel power. And we'll potentially line up Gaussian in Combat Teleport. And we'll see Dark Consumption. We'll preemptively look at recharges right now. What gets us our best recharge? We have damage recharge and mod recharge. All right. Or we can do chant to heal self, damage recharge, damage accuracy, endurance. It's not really a damage power. We can get accuracy recharge, end mod recharge with hit points and endurance. I like power transfer because that gives us the chance to heal self, but we're having to give up a proc for less recharge. Here we can get recharge, and mod accuracy recharge. We can get three. We can get an in-mod endurance recharge. We can get an in-mod recharge. And we can get an in-mod accuracy recharge. This gives us a lot of endurance. And a brief moment when you realize that part of the window is outside the window. Let's bring that in so we can see what's going on. All right, bring this back up. Okay, so there we are. And we've got a couple slots left over. Let's see what this actually looks like on our totals. All right, our totals are, we're doing okay on smashing lethal. We're doing not so great on energy negative fire cold, but we don't have stone skin accounting for defense yet. And we do know it will give a defense buff. And if we look at our scrapper version, we're picking up 5% defense to smashing lethal fire cold energy negative. So we're going to pick up at least 5% defense on all of these. That'll push us into 40. We're still going to be a few short. I have the shield wall. Okay, I have the shield wall proc. I have the static defense. So we're about 5 points short on defense. Where else am I picking some defense up? At least compared, at least on the scrapper. I'm picking up area of effect. Well, there's 5% there on the superior critical strikes. Missing some energy negative there from electric shackles. What else am I missing in the way of defense? I'm missing about 5% here. 5, 7. I'm missing around 7% in defense so far. And I did do a resist defense. Interesting. Mud Pots wasn't giving me any defense. I'm already into Smash Lethal, so I don't need to do a 5 slot on that. Oh, combat jumping was in play on here. Combat jumping's not in play. Yeah, that kind of does screw things up a little bit. Alright. Okay, not going to be a clean backport then. Tough weave. Granite armor is effectively not in play. Missing the hold there. Gonna get Darkest Night for the debuff. If I could fit maneuvers in there, but where to put it? I easily, taking combat teleport out. But then the only place I have to put the build up is in Soul Drain, and Soul Drain's pretty much my looking at it damage power. Or I turn Dark Consumption into a damage power, or I look to pick up some defense. I could use a 5 slot. Well, I could use a 6 slot. No, yeah, I could use a 6 slot in Avalanche and pick up the Fire Cold. Okay, so preemptively, we're dropping Combat Teleport. Since we're taking Combat Jumping, and we'll scale things down here. We'll, for the moment, take a look at the Gambler out of Granite Armor and put the look at the Gambler on Combat Jumping, turn on Combat Jumping. We're dropping Mighty Leap and potentially taking Experimentation, Speed of Sound. So we still keep a teleport in play. We're thinking about dropping Soul Drain all the way down and making it, okay, we need to go slots enhancements, slots auto-arrange all slots. We're going to turn Soul Drain into Gaussian, even though I really hate doing this. And we're going to on Dark Consumption. If we go deep on preemptive optimization, we pick up defense energy, and if we go this way, we pick up no defense. We go this way, we pick up some recharge time. That just gives us fire cold resist, which we may already be effectively capped on. But it does give us a greater recharge time. Okay, for right now, we're going to kind of look at power transfer. And see what this gets us. Okay, what was I doing? We're doing power transfer. Oh, wait, I was going to do avalanche on Soul Drain, not Gaussian. Because Stone Skin's currently not giving us any resist. We're doing a 6-slot avalanche. All right, now let's check our totals. All right, now we're at 49 smashing lethal, 36 energy negative, 42. All right, with the defense boost we should get from Stone Skin. What happened to the music? Oh. That was actually pretty nice. Let's get something. Uh, Mist, Shadows, and I by Kanazan and Wishes and Dreams from Mist, Shadows, and I 2021. All right, going back to the build, we know we're going to be picking up around 5% defense, so we're good on smashing lethal, we're good on fire cold, so we can afford to give up some smashing lethal defense. We don't necessarily need avalanche and soul drain then, so we can swap. Is there anything we can swap at? Well, we still need it for fire cold. If we do eradication, we'll pick up some energy, strong energy negative. So we'll think about running eradication and soul drain. This also gives us a higher return on recharge. And we pick up some hit points and we pick up some regeneration. That'll be good for the brute. Okay, with the Synchnautic eradication, all right, we're going to pick up about 5 defense from Stone Skin, so we may be good on Fire Cold. We're still good on Smashing Lethal. We could give up a little bit of Smashing Lethal defense. So we could maybe go a little deeper that way. Hmm. All right, what else could we do? Because we're looking to close an energy negative. We need just a little bit more general defense, because best case scenario, bring up that scrapper. Stone Skin is going to give us plus 4.95% defense. What was that? Alright, 4.5 defense. We also don't have a preventative medicine proc. How are we doing? Oh, we've smacked everything down. Let's go find a new junction. And we'll stop right there. Bring our managed screen back up. Okay, looking back at the build. What else could I give up on smashing lethal? Because we'll pick that back up in Stone Skin. Smashing lethal, fire cold defense. Okay, Midnight Grasp, well, that fire cold, smashing lethal. We could give it up here, but I don't think that's a very good idea. We have AoE fire cold, we don't want to give it up there. We have energy negative, don't want to give it up there. What can we pick up in dark consumption? Well, dark consumption, we could pick up some energy negative there and put us over the top for preemptive optimization. But then we lose some damage. If we go this way, we could do 2 sets of eradication. And that would definitely put us within range. But we also do kind of need that endurance return. Or at least it would be desirable to have that endurance return. What other options do we have? Well, we've got Shiroko's Dervish, which gives us our bump on fire cold. And does Stone Skin give us... I don't think it gives us... No, it doesn't give us psionic. But if we went deep on Siroko's Dervish, we do get that defense to psionic. So there's that question as well. Mud Pots. We need some endurance reduction. And we got 1 slot to go. We got resistance defense. We got gladiator. Where is gladiator's armor? Should be here. Yeah, resistant defense. What's our base minerals? Base minerals defense. Our base defense is minerals. 18.75. What's the scrapper getting right now? Scrapper's getting base. It's 28.17. Doesn't give me the base. 25 point. 28.1725. But also has some extra defense there. What happens if I put the luck of the gambler proc here? What are my totals now? 41, but no other boost. What's my sonic defense? Powers, combat attributes, defense, high power sources, sonic defense. Okay, I'm not actually soft capped to sonic defense right now on the scrapper. Good thing I noted that beforehand. So Soroka's Dervish on dark consumption. We lose basically all of the endurance benefit that we gain. But we do gain with Stone Skin. We should be into soft cap on Fire Cold, and we're into soft cap on Sonic Melee. Okay, good change. We're just a little short on endurance. We could make it up with Eradication with a 3 slot, but there's almost no endurance reduction. Is there any place where we got some smashing lethal defense that we don't necessarily need it? Anything giving us smashing lethal we don't need. Well, there's Midnight Grasp, but we need that Fire Cold. And there's no other good place to get Fire Cold without it. At least not in the quantities that we need. Okay. You know, I could do Eradication on Shadow Mall. And that's a thought. Since I don't necessarily need these, Granite Armor. Well, when we turn Granite Armor, what are we looking at? Oh, we are way short on Smashing Lethal Energy. We're way short on Smashing Lethal. So our Scrapper build is not... If I just toss a... let's think for a second here. I was planning on reactive defenses in Stone Skin. But I think I'm over on Luck of the Gambler bonuses. I am. I'm actually over on the 10% regeneration cap as well. So if I did the reactive defenses here, defense endurance, reactive defenses, defense, and then the reactive defenses proc in granite. Uh, but granite doesn't get as much defense because it's going into stone skin. Uh, that's getting really close. Uh, since I'm not sure how much the granite defense boost is. Well, the changes should actually be live on this one. So let's actually do enhancements. Check. All right, stone skin is giving. I don't have any boosts in there, and I'm getting 4.5 strength to smashing uh, to all defense. Granite armor is giving me 17% defense base. That's all right. All right. Granite armor is 11.25% base on defense, and granite armor and PhD is giving me 15. So 15 to 11, we're going to lose around 4%, call it 6% total. We're going to pick up 5%. So we're going to be down 1 or 2% on defense. So smashing lethal fire cold are going to be good. Energy, if I could gain some more energy, it would be good in granite armor as well. Crystal, where am I going to get that kind of defense from? Because, well, assuming granite armor turns combat jumping off as well. Does it? I don't know. I have to check for that. So if eradication, defense energy negative. Let's go ahead and work on that for a second. We'll swap Shadow Maul to eradication. Okay, with the stone skin changes, we should still be into. Okay, with the stone skin changes, we should still be into soft cap on smashing lethal energy negative fire cold. Uh, this may work. We still got 3 slots on mud pots. We have no other slots to work with. We have Darkest Night, which we'll toss a 2-hit debuff Endurance on. We got Endurance accounted for there. What are we going to do with these two? Okay, since they take a defense set, we're already capped on. We could do Luck of the Gambler defense. Well, that frees us up a slot. Potentially frees us up a slot. So we'll think Luck of the Gambler proc, Luck of the Gambler defense. We'll think about minerals. We kind of need that to be as high up as possible. We're going to be pretty good on smashing lethal defense. So we'll probably swap in. We'll take this out there, and we'll do in rock armor. We'll do defense endurance and defense endurance recharge. And minerals will go to full bucket route with the proc, with defense endurance recharge. And that frees us up one slot. Where do we want to put this slot? Do we want to put it in mud pots, or do we want to add some resist to granite armor? We're technically a luck of the gambler here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're good on luck of the gambler. Okay. We don't add the preventative medicine proc. We need some endurance reduction. We got one slot to play with. Because if we turn granite on, we're going to be down on some resist. But we got more resist coming across stone skin. So if we turn on granite armor, we'll probably still be around 73% on fire cold. Really like to stick a resist in there to bring it up. So slots and enhancement slots, auto arrange all slots. Where's a good place to grab a... Well, that is one option. We'll take the gladiator out. Slots and enhancement slots, auto arrange all slots. And we'll do... Can we do the gladiator's proc up here? Alright, look at the gambler. Let's add in some resist. We'll do unbreakable guard. And we'll do unbreakable guard resistance. This gives us 47% with these. So we're probably pretty good there. We've got a spot for a luck of the gambler. Oh, not too sure about this. We picked up our preventative maintenance, but we're going to need a little bit more. I don't have any defense in it now, and it's already at 4.5%. So 4.5. Let's turn everything else back on. 4.5 is not going to be... It's going to be enough to put me on fire cold, but I'm going to be really close on smashing lethal. So one proc in here, one luck at the gambler. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna be very, very close. How am I looking on sets and bonuses? I am capped. What am I capped on? I'm still capped on 10% regeneration. So I really could do without one of these 10% recharges. So a 2-slot luck at the gambler is not going to buy me anything. What I possibly could do is in rock armor, do maybe gift of the ancients, and do where all do I have look at the gambler or a 10% regeneration? Look at the gambler, look at the gambler. I got at least 2 over. Oh, there's 10% regeneration in Siroko's Dervish. running high on those slots. Not a good way to change them out. I could swap Weave to Luck of the to Gift of the Ancients. Now that's a thought that brings me back some. Defense Endurance. Defense Endurance Recharge. Oh, that's almost too far down. I think may have to give up some of the regeneration. May have to just accept that I'm overkill on regeneration. Bonuses. Okay, so with the stone skin changes, we should. So I still got to fill in mud pots. And I can put a Luck of the Gambler proc here. So what do I want to fill in these last slots with? I kind of want to do Fury of the Gladiator, but I really need 3 slot to make that resist proc worth it. I may just do Armageddon for damage because I don't have an Armageddon elsewhere now. Just do Armageddon for the damage reduction because that does give me a 41% reduction on endurance. So it's what we may go with. Anything else? I could pick up a damage buff and a recharge buff by going deeper on Smite, but I need more slots to do that. I don't have more slots. So I'm still missing the preventative medicine proc comparatively. But I think with the stone skin changes, I'm going to be all right there. Of course, I could pick up some slot by just using Dark Consumption for endurance return and not worrying about crystal armor. But crystal armor is a good place to pick up some extra endurance coming in. So this may be a case of just make this and then see what it actually looks like in play. Mudpot just feel I have no accurate. Okay, I got a Kismet going, and what does everything else look like? What does Soul Drain look like? Soul Drain is duration 30 seconds, froze, and it's currently at 35 seconds. So Soul Drain is not quite perma. I am losing perma Soul Drain. Dark Consumption has a duration of 60 seconds. I didn't actually plus any of these up, did I? And I realized that plussing these up means that this is just going to be a build at level 50 where I'll have Agility Incarnate in play. So some of this is really Storm in a teacup. Because once I account for Agility Incarnate or Spiritual, then they're going to be soft capped anyways. This is really trying to look at a scaling build down. So I think for scaling build down, this is looking pretty solid. Next question is, do I do this as a dual build? Yeah, I'm probably just going to run this as a dual build and see how it plays out. And let's check what our time is at. We are currently at 49 minutes, so we'll cut it off here. And we'll get set up to run a dual build and step through the rest of this backport. Aurian Archive.